It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. Start the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. Start the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We're repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the banners fly high under the sun. Every player on that field, together we run. With each kick we feel the passion ignite. For Chelsea our hearts shine forever bright. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. It's a blue morning show where the vibes are flowing, so fresh, so low. Everything's about Chelsea, feel like pride. We repping our team, standing side by side. Win or lose, we carry that blue. Cause Chelsea, see Chelsea, it's all true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. In the stands we jump and sway, feel the beat. Got that rhythm in our hearts, can't take defeat. Every match we rise, watch the game unfold. Blue blood running deep, our story told. With every win we celebrate our crew. Chanting songs for Chelsea all day, it's true. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud, 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 no one. All them a cheer, them a cheer. Cheer, 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 loud as the crowd. So the
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. And today, once again, we will talk about Chelsea's managerial news hunt. I don't know which would be the most accurate way to phrase it. English isn't my first language, so pardon me. And then we will talk about our game, our semi-final game against Leeds United at Wembley in the FA Cup. And hopefully we get to the final and maybe get to win it. And hopefully we win it and Arsenal will end up not winning anything this season. It will be epic if that happens. But that's by the way, more importantly, I do hope you're all doing well and I appreciate you all once again finding the time to join the conversation. We haven't been streaming for a while, but we're back again. We'll be streaming morning, evening, and hopefully we get to hire someone we can trust to help make it a lot easier on me. And before we continue, I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat. I think we will start with news hunting, discuss whatever we see out there with regards to the managers being linked with the move to becoming Chelsea's new manager for the 26-27 season. But as usual, let me say hello to those of you in the chat before anything. And the first person is my bro, Mabas05, aka MB05. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. He says, big up, big up to you too. I hope you're doing. I'm doing well, and I hope you're doing well too. Colin McFarlane can win games. Once we start winning games, we will forget about Liam Rosenia. Yeah, I mean, winning changes everything. But yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream. How many likes? Not too many. Not too many people following the show. 17 in total. Only 2 on YouTube. The rest is shared between Facebook and X, whether equally Coachella doesn't know. He said in the summer we needed experienced players over the age of 30. I don't measure that by age, but I get it. It makes sense to see older players as more experienced than some players. There are players that are, you say, above age 30, but still hasn't played as many Premier League as some of the players we have within our squad. So I get it. We're guilty of using age and experience interchangeably, leading to us not using it accurately, in my opinion. Otherwise, next season we are gonna go through the same problems that we are going through now. We do need experience, and Bali, he said it himself. That I think they've realized they learned the hard way. Um, let's see. I think I'm going to join the protest if at the end they don't fulfill their promise of signing more experienced players, Premier League experience to balance things out in the team so that we can start performing consistently. When AVB got sacked, not a single player said thank you to AVB. Why would any current player right now say thank you to Rosinia? You're making a mistake. Ganacho, he's written a very, very good farewell message. Except if it was fake. I didn't check the source because, yeah, that's what people do these days. They make up something like that to get clicks and it works. So let me not just say that for certain. He did write a farewell message, but the lab I heard wrote one for him. But it doesn't look. We're all humans, and it's never a good thing for people to lose their job. But in this case, he's getting paid really, really well. What has Virginia? I don't blame him, honestly, but I blame him because, yeah, he was the architect of his own downfall. Iraola is a big no for me. His football is like Pochettino 2.0. Run, 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 run tactics. We are going to have 10, 15 players, team injured at the same time. Tobeho did say something similar. I think they're all from the school of Bielsa. I heard somebody say that. I didn't know he's worked on that BS or maybe as a player. I don't know. I didn't know that until I read something to that effect online. Santiago Muna, big up to you too, my bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation, and I do hope you are doing well. And already I have the captain of the community on the panel with me in Constantine Dunn. Big up to you, my G. I do hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, coach. Doing well. Yourself?
I think I'm work all night still making some changes to the VidMice app and also that all of them. But yeah,
So this will be a shorter show. You'll be tired very quickly in this one.
but I'm good anyway. I'm good. I'm good. Let's get without wasting much of your time. I think we should get on to it. I think we should get. I don't know if we should start with news hunt and then get with the match preview. What do you think we should do? Go news hunting first, right? Then round off with the main stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Do it that way.
All
Do
right.
news first.
All right. Other than Delap and Ganacho, others didn't say thank you to Rosinia. Not even Andrea Santos, his former manager, who used to work with him, said thank you. You don't know. They communicate privately. I think probably he's gonna be downcast right now. Him and Mahmoud Sa. But at least that's my opinion. But anyways, big up to you too, and you saying big up to Mod Man. You always fight with him. Shane Wendy, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation too. We have Armstrong Robson. Good morning to you too, Mr. Armstrong, and thank you for joining. It looks like it's going to be one of those days that my camera acts up. I hope not. I'm not sure why that happens. Every now and then I thought, did I take a note of what I did to fix it the last time it happened? I hope that's not the case now. That's gonna really, really piss me off. So let's go news on, then we will come back to the match preview exercise proper in a bit. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? First item talks about what's his name again? Anthony. And I think this is Vince's opinion, but let me just read it for the sake of it. If only we can trust Newcastle United to do okay, not a transfer, to do a job today, but it's a pipe dream. Those people are worse than Chelsea. At least they have an opportunity to redeem themselves against Arsenal. I will gladly accept the surprise. Let's go, Newcastle. I can't pronounce. Is it Magpies? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But here's the thing. I think it's going to be easy to play against Arsenal today. And I'm going to explain why. They need goals. City are leading them, above them in the table right now by goal difference. So Arsenal now understand they need goals. They're not going to play their usual way of, or you could say, sitting back and trying hitting teams on the break. I think they will come all out to get more goals. I think I'd be shocked if it doesn't field more attacking players than usual. I don't even see him playing two sixes, two traditional sixes today. But let's hear you, Dante. What do you think?
Yeah, look, don't really care too much to be honest about what Arsenal does, but yeah, as long as they get a Newcastle don't lose. But I have a feeling that Newcastle are already kind of a bit on holiday at the moment. Then they won't really. It's going to be pretty hard for them to make Champions League or Europa League, etc. So I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to turn up. Are they going to be already, season done? Some of those players already probably talking contract to leave as well because they're not. I don't think they will stay there this time with no Champions League, so or even Europa League. So yeah, look, I think it's one of those that hopefully they're up for it, but I have a feeling Arsenal will be more up for this game than Newcastle.
Which makes the game a lot easier. Which will make the game a lot more easier to, you could say, for Eddie Howe and his boys. They like it that way. If Arsenal comes out to score, I think I think Newcastle they I mean they're capable of beating them.
Yeah, normally I would say that, but like I said, I don't know where their heads are at the moment, and some of those players where their heads are right now. I mean, they're sitting 14th in the league. They're not going to make European football, so yeah, I just have a feeling some of them already probably looking for ways out and looking for other teams for next year. So that could be a problem for them. That's why I think I think Arsenal might win this, and they probably comfortably too if that's the case.
Arsenal still have a huge chance of winning the league, but I think they have a lot more difficult games than City Have you looked at their games?
No, they've got all bottom half teams. So they've got all bottom half teams where
But
City
all
have.
difficult teams to play against.
Yes and no, because the season will be finished. Some of those teams won't have nothing to play for, so they're going to play probably youngsters and give other people a go. So they've got the good run in, to be honest, over City, where City have to play some of the top half teams, 4 or 5 of the top half teams. So yeah, look, we'll see what happens, but it's definitely not over the title race. But yeah, hopefully us Newcastle, like I said, they're still in for it. But like I said, I don't know. Hopefully, I can see if Arsenal score a goal, I can see their heads going down. They probably don't care too much, to be honest, because like I said, this season's pretty much over. It's gonna be even if they win every single game, they probably still won't make Europa League because they're so far behind. So that's what I mean. It just depends where their heads are. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, let's talk about this man here on the screen. We paid something north of 70 million pounds for him. He's been, you could say, he's been more trouble than a solution for us. We've been, you could say, waiting for him to recover, stay fit. He's recovered and stayed fit. But there's, again, it's been one problem or the other on and off the pitch. Tickets here and there. I don't care about his, you could say, him getting driving tickets from the police and all that. But I think there are signs that he's toxic. He's toxic. I don't know who he thinks he is. I'm not sure, but I want to get your opinion. I think if in fact what Matt Law is saying here is the truth, I think the club would look to move him on if they can get. I don't know whether they'd be comfortable selling him, you could say, and taking an L. But let me read that. Then I get your opinion. I don't like him anymore, honestly, because I've seen beyond him being a good footballer, he comes with a lot of baggage. I think he's actually more problem than Garnacho. And Garnacho, I don't think he's actually caused any problems since joining Chelsea. He's been humble, training hard, hardly ever complains. But this guy, if you take him off, he throws tantrum all the time. Fofana has more points on his driving license, 50 in total, than Chelsea do in the league, 48. And and adding the fact that the team on the pitch disciplinary problems followed them from Enzo Maresca, the former head coach, to Rosinho, and there's a clear pattern of underperformance and misbehavior among the players. But I'm gonna say I'd like this to be strictly about Fana because he misbehaves a lot, and that's my opinion. But let's hear you, Dante.
Yeah, he's one of those that, like I said earlier in the season, it's a big season for him. He has to really step up this season. He kind of did for a while there for 7 or 8 games, where him and Shalaba kept 6 clean sheets in a row. But then after that, again, started acting up a bit. Then injury. Then we saw the tantrums as well. Look, I don't know what happens behind the scenes, or in their private life as well. But could be something there as well. But look, the club will look into it. In my personal opinion, he's one of those that probably has to go. I think he's had enough time. I know he's been injured a long time, but I don't think I've seen enough to risk keeping him, especially if you're going to bring other more starting caliber centre backs. How is he going to act? How is he going to, receive that where he's not going to play that much? You'll have to earn it a lot more. So I think he hasn't really had to earn it that much in the Chelsea centre backs because obviously the situation with the injuries and also just not playing well. For me, he should be one of those on the chopping block at the end of the season. He's been here long enough. I just don't see him. He might take that next step. I'm not sure, but look, if you get a good offer for him, I think you move him on and cut your losses. But even though, I mean, I know we signed him, but that was a while ago now. So once you do the sums and maths, if you can sell him for 35, 40 million, you get your money back, no problem. So he probably is worth that, to be honest, because he's still a very good player. But which teams would play that? There's probably a lot of teams in Spain. It's not Italy as
Even
much,
in
probably
France.
Spain. France as well. He wants to go back. He said that if he goes back, he go back, to France. So maybe that's what he needs for his career as well. Maybe he needs a change, go to another club. You never know what can happen. home, etc. But I think he should be one of the ones that we look to try to move on. Now that won't be as easy, but look, at least he's been fit this run in. Hopefully, he stays fit to the end of the season, and if he does that, well, yeah, that'll help us a bit more to try to sell him. But like I said, it's hard to know exactly what's happening in the background, why he's acted like that, and what's going on there, how he is in training, how professional is he, etc. We don't quite know everything, but I think he's been here long enough. Him, Disasi, Badiashile, even Shalaba, to be honest. All these players probably need to move on, and we need to really reshuffle that back line, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Rosinha just loved hearing his own voice. So much his home interviewing a war right now. Wow, that's that's a good one. But Ibro, nice to see you. I appreciate the joke. What else do you have here? He says, "I've been telling you, K-Leg needed to be sold 2 seasons ago, but the club was never going to sell him in a hurry, and and they were. You could say he wasn't. He was hardly ever fit.
Well, they couldn't sell him. They couldn't sell
They
him
couldn't
because
sell him either. Yeah, if
out
yeah,
long term at
he wasn't
those
fit. Yeah,
crucial, yeah, when a transfer window was open, so they couldn't sell him even if they wanted to.
yeah, he was. He wasn't. I think he. No, but I think eventually they will move him on because he looks like a very. He looks like a toxic character in my opinion.
We'll see.
Let's
I think
see.
they'll
Go
try.
ahead. Were you saying something?
Like, yeah, we'll see. I think they'll try if they can. That's another issue, but I think they probably will try.
Yeah, I know we've talked about this man. His name is popping up again. I think he's going to be a free agent, right? Come end of the season, come summer.
Yep,
I wouldn't mind him, but I'm still going to be speak objectively about it right now. He likes money, and who wouldn't? And
yes, it
he's not
does.
getting any younger. If the Saudis come calling, I think he will go.
100%.
I
Yep,
think he will
I
go. But
agree.
let's hear your opinion. I can only keep dreaming because yeah, even if you think it's not that quick anymore, he's lost some pace and all that. I think he brings character, leadership. But do I really think it's going to happen? I don't think so. But I can only dream. I mean, I have every right to dream because I think
Yep.
if he joins us, he makes a huge difference. But let's hear him.
Look, fast enough. No, he's still fast enough. I've seen him because he's quite a slender guy. He's not like one of those really muscly guys. So he's quite slender, quite light, tall, frame, strong, but very light. So I think I've seen him play. He still can run very well. He can definitely run as fast as Chalobah or these Tosin and all these guys. There's not a problem there. So I don't see that as a problem. The only problem, like you said, is he's gonna get a big offers from Saudi Arabia. So they're gonna go after him, especially because he's a free agent. There'll be a massive sign-on fee, and the salary will be massive. Now, what else does he have to achieve? He's kind of won everything. He won at Chelsea, then he's won at Real Madrid, what he wanted to win. There's nothing really too much for him to achieve in club football anymore. So I see him going
The
there.
Premier League title, I don't think will be a lure for him.
No, because he's been here already, done it at Chelsea. He's already been here a long time and won at Chelsea as well. So
He
he's
won
got
the
nothing else to
Champions
win really.
League, the
Yeah,
Old Club World Cup, I think the FA Cup. I think three trophies in total. I can't quite remember, but I don't think
yeah,
there's
yeah.
anything I'd say that he'd look at and say, you know what, I have unfinished business there. And I don't think he's
No,
that sort of individual you would say he's that loyal to the club that he would want to come back to help. If that was the case, then he would not have left in the first place.
exactly. Yes, coach. Yes, exactly. So no, I see him going to Saudi Arabia and signing a massive contract there and just basically seeing his out career there. Give like I said, if he wasn't at Chelsea and then Real Madrid, he's been to two biggest clubs basically, especially Real Madrid. He's done it all, seen it all. There's not much won at all. There's nothing else really left for him to win in club football. So yeah, the smart thing would be to do that. And we know he loves money. He said that in the past. He loves his money. So yes, I think he's definitely going to go for the money. Yep,
Yeah.
and he can't
All
blame
right.
him.
We have Jay in the house. Jay, big up and thank you for finding the time to join us on the panel here. I do hope you're doing well. Two things so we will get you all caught up. For Fana, for me, in my opinion, I think he does come across as a toxic character. Whenever he's taken off, you'd see him throwing tantrum. I think I've seen that more than once. I could be wrong, and as Dante just said, there could be other stuff off the pitch that's been causing him problems. He has 50 points on his driver's license, according to Matt Law. Um, we when we talked about we did again, there were rumors that he was the one that leaked our lineup to PSG, and then we found him on the bench in the next game, and he was laughing while we were losing games. Something like that for me, even though I wouldn't want us to sell him at a loss, but it looks like Dante says selling him now wouldn't be an issue. I think he's a toxic character in my opinion. Then I also after that I also would like to hear from you. What do you think if we can bring back Antonio Rudiger, which I don't think it's even possible? Is it something you'd like to see happen? Jay, let's hear you.
Yeah, big up coach, big up
Yeah, big
Dante,
up Jay.
everyone in the chat. Hope all you're good.
Jade.
Um, I agree with you about Fofana. I think he is a somewhat negative character. Look, in general,
Did you say
the
negative
overall
director?
character.
Okay, I love negative. Negative director sounds good for me. Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, although that would also make sense, right? He could
Yep,
be one
yep.
of. Uh, Look, overall, I am not really happy with the club, because of the environment. I can feel a bit of sympathy for the fans and the players who are showing some kind of a weird behavior in times like this. But I would exclude Fofana from that list because we have seen behavior like this from him in the past as well when things were not as bad around Chelsea, and the reaction and the behavior was not so triggered, and it was very much impulsive of him, and it's quite repetitive. So yeah, that is where I actually feel like whatever is happening at the Chelsea, everything, all the frustration around the club. I do not think it is directly linked with his attitude or his behavior. I think in general he is a personality like that. He has shown this on several occasions. His off the field lifestyle as well, all the license and driving problems and all the tickets he's got. I think they also contribute to the fact and also gives us an idea about how type of a person he might be. Uh, but yeah, I think we can kind of ignore these things and maybe leave them aside if you are a good footballer, if you are somewhat really some kind of a player who's contributing heavily to the club or to the team in terms of the quality. But you're also failing on that area in my eyes. You haven't really lived up to the price tag of 70 or 80 millions. You are literally one of the two biggest signings, centre back signings in the Premier League ever. I think Harry Maguire and him are the two players who are the two most expensive centre backs ever in the Premier
Harry
League. So
Maguire and Van Dijk. Van Dijk, I think.
yeah, and he also, I think, around 70 or 80 million. These are the prices around which they all those three are have been sold. Um, so yeah, not really happy with him. And if that is his character off the pitch as well, we shouldn't be sticking around him now. There is that injury issue as well. So I don't mind it. I don't think any fan or anyone in the club would make any fuss if we are going to detach from him. And I think it's better for both of them, for Fofana and for Chelsea, to just end this relationship, which hasn't really worked out at all. Somewhat sympathetic towards him because of his injury issues, because that is something a player cannot control ever. But again, the other stuff, I think, is very childish. It shows the immaturity that he still got. And yeah, I won't really mind if we are going to, get separate from him. Anyways, I think he shouldn't be the starting center back for us next season. So if he's going to get sold, I think I'm pretty much okay with. In terms of the Rudiger case, I would agree with Dante for the most part. Look, the simple case is, even if yeah, there are facts that we need him. Obviously, we need it, and he would help us a lot in many. in many departments in terms of experience, even in terms of quality. I think he's really good and is much better than some of the young players that we've got, and he can still contribute to this club, a lot. But I think those are secondary talks. The most important talk is his wages. Uh, he's going to he's going to be wanting something really heavy uh, at this stage of his career. I think as Dante mentioned, he's played for two really big clubs, and I think he's achieved a lot of the important trophies. And I don't feel like he would be that much emotionally attached with Chelsea, with the feeling that he might have something left here or he wants to come and help the club when the option is there for him to earn monumental wages, which he will be, I'm pretty sure, get offered from the Saudis. So I think the wage problem alone is quite unrealistic for this deal to not happen. And I'm not, it doesn't make sense for me that he will take a wage cut at this stage of his age to come here at Chelsea and play. I think he would be wanting a heavy pay because that is something normal. That is very much normal. We all would be, as a footballer at that age, we will
I
all
mean, we
want
have to
to secure.
just have to be honest about it.
Yeah, we all will want and secure secure some that kind of money from the Saudis because that is going to impact the rest of your life. Because let's be honest, at that stage of the career, there aren't really many years left in those footballers. So everyone would like to get and secure that bag. So for me, that deal just doesn't really make any sense at all in terms of the finances involved.
Yeah, I know I've spoken. I've heard Dante. I've asked Dante what his thoughts on Murillo. How about you, Jay? Is he a player you like? Because rumors suggest that we're interested in signing the Nottingham Forest defender, Brazilian I think is he Brazilian international? Has he ever represented the national team? I don't know, but I think he's a good player. But Dante did talk about his lack of height.
Yeah,
But I do think he has a good leap in him, and he's a good box defender. Reads the game very well. Also, for me, I think he's also good on the ball. I wouldn't mind him. I
yeah,
think it's better than nearly all the CBs we have. So I don't. They
yeah.
say, I mean, as a beggar, I don't think we have that much of a choice right now. I'd take him over any of our defenders that you mentioned right now. But go ahead, let's hear your opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Look, it's not a new thing. We have been in constantly linked to this guy for over a few years now. I think before even he got to Nottingham Forest, I think we were linked with him, and even after him joining Nottingham Forest for successive years now, I am hearing his name being linked with Chelsea. So there is definitely a lot of interest from inside the hierarchy for this guy, and I agree that he's got some qualities, some really solid qualities as a centre back, which excites me that he can do a really good job at Stamford Bridge. Again, there is the height issue, but he's really strong. He's powerful. He's got that physique. He's got that charisma about him as well. In duels and in battles, I think he can hold up and lock up any striker in the world, even if it's Haaland. I have seen some of his battles with Haaland in terms of physicality. I think he can challenge anyone. And his box defending is really good as well. There is that glaring issue of height, which I think is something that cannot be ignored, especially at our club or at our team, because we in general don't have, tall players, which is a really important element in Premier League. I think we are going to be looking to add some players, not even at centre back, but in general, who can offer some height and maybe help us defend those set pieces and corners. So Murillo definitely is a weak link in terms of defending in the air. But other than that, I think he is a really, really strong centre back who can help us and in many other departments of that defense. Yes, he is obviously better than almost everyone that we have got, but I don't think that is that big of a challenge to breach. I think a lot of the defenders in the world can be better than what we've got right now. It's just that unfortunate that we have such poor quality in the defense. But I won't mind him. But I think this deal depends heavily on the fate of Nottingham Forest chances to stay in the Premier League. Because if they go down, which it doesn't look like now after they secured that victory against Sunderland, it looks like they are going to stay here. But if they were to go down, I think Chelsea might be rubbing their hands and definitely look to add him for a price that is much cheaper than you expect him to when he's going to stay in the Premier League. So if they are going to stay in the Premier League, which it looks like, I think this deal might not get done.
Yeah. All right, Dante, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or should we jump to this David Austin report?
Yeah,
For
look,
me, go ahead.
the only thing is just last season they were really good. Him and Savic, Milinkovic Savic, the two central defenders, obviously a big key of the this season. I mean, they're almost relegated. They've been pretty poor, both of them this season, both Murillo and Sankovic. Yeah, Savic, Stankovic, whatever his name is. They've both been pretty poor. I mean, like they're nearly relegated. So that's a bit of a worry. He couldn't back up last season's great, form and great showing that got his price up and got clubs interested. This season, not good at all. So for me, that's a bit worrying. How far they've fallen down. That's a big drop
I
down.
mean, but that's the responsibility should be on the entire team, not just the
Yeah,
defensive
but it's the
line.
same defense, coach. It's exactly the same defense, the same midfield. It's all the same. So, same everything, keeper, everything. So, for me,
I
yeah,
do.
that's a big
I do
drop off.
think that Dante, sorry, just to cut you off there. I think Nuno's impact was, heavily on that team in terms of defense. I think that manager was kind of
The
very
change in
defensive in
approach.
his approach. Yeah, I think he was very much defensive in his approach as well. So I think that could be a big reason why the defense suddenly looks like, it is something else. I think the change of manager and the instability, general instability around the club could also impact such things. It's not like, the suddenly the quality has disappeared. We all have seen that they are quality players, and
Exactly.
Yeah, well, they've had
That's how I
more
see
games
it
to
too.
play
But go ahead,
being in
Dante.
Europe. They haven't been able to handle being in Europe and in the in Premier League. They haven't been able to
Aha,
handle
they were
that.
stretched.
They haven't been able to, and they've both really struggled. I've seen a few games of theirs. They both look really bad, especially Murillo. He got exposed quite a lot of times. So
Here's a key point from what you just said, Dante.
yeah,
They've not been able to handle being in Europe, the Europe assignment, and then the Premier League. I
yeah,
think
well, that is a
that
problem to
yeah.
coming to
Hmm.
Chelsea. That is a problem to coming to a big club, though, because if you're not able
But
to do it,
we'll probably have a much deeper squad than them.
we would. But don't forget, if you're gonna buy this guy, you have to splash a lot of money for him. So he's almost going to be a starter if you're splashing 60 million on him or whatever they'll want, probably 70 million on him. You're splashing starter money. So if you're going to bring him, and for me, that was a bit of a downer seeing him struggle with the matches, coming thick and fast. Couldn't handle it, him and Savage, and just didn't look good in defense. I know the system changed a little bit. That's affected it, but for me to drop off from like, seventh or whatever, or sixth, whatever it was, a seventh, down to relegation. Wow, that's a big drop off, and that's just a little red flag for me. That's all. That's what I'm saying, in my opinion. That's a bit of a little red flag.
Thank you
That
for the
extra work
disclaimer. In your
at a
opinion,
bigger club, you're gonna work harder as well. You're gonna do more. You're gonna play more and more training because there's a lot more games. So it's a
here's
little
what
bit
I'm
of
gonna
a
go with,
worry. Yeah.
Dante. Uh, I don't want to agree with you, but I appreciate you also present. You can say uh, the disclaimer there in your opinion. I'm
Of
gonna go
course.
with two things. Something Jay mentioned. Changing approach is a key factor there. One, and you
It wasn't that
also,
much, coach. That's the thing. It wasn't much. They went
I
back to what
mean,
they
but I'm
knew.
allowed to say, okay, that's what I believe is the
Yeah, yeah.
reason. I just don't want to put the entire blame. I just want to say I just don't want to say their defensive line is the reason why they found themselves fighting for to survive relegation. You get my point. I'm gonna go with what Jay said,
I do.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
come back to what you said. They've been stretched. The European assignment has that has made life a lot more difficult for them, just like it did to some of the teams that were fighting for a Champions League place last season, which they were stretched because they don't have deep enough squad like we did, they ended up falling off, and we made it. I think they were not Nottingham Forest was one of them, right? They fell off from the fifth. They were like in a champion. They were occupying the Champions League place in the table, but they
Yeah,
fell
with
off.
like 7, 8 games, 10 games to go or something. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So it was the European competition that stretched them too, wasn't it?
Not the season before, no.
Who was it? It was one of the teams that were there that had the same issue. So, but I'm just saying, I'm just gonna go with. Let me not mix things up. I digress. Your point of the European assignment is a key factor there, and Jay's point of changing approach because Nuno, the Portuguese coach, he knows how to coach a defensive side.
Yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with those 2 points.
Yeah.
Take
The only
something
thing,
from
sorry,
Santos.
coach,
But
that
go ahead.
if the defense changed, but the thing is, they got the same players, everyone's the same, and this formation is the same too. So it's a little bit of tweaks here and there, but it's the same formation, the same defensive setup, the same midfield setup, the same players in defense, same players in midfield. That's yeah. So to me, that's yeah. I think definitely Europe didn't. It's too many games for them, but that's not good if you're coming to Chelsea and you're signing as a star signing because he would be a like I said, he'll be a starter signing. You're not signing 70 million for him not to be one of the starters if that's the case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If
So
anything, rotate because of you can say the load.
yeah, yeah, no, they would rotate more. But like I said, the next step is a little harder, more pressure, more training, more running, actually, training more than the game, and more games as well. So, yeah, a little bit worried seeing that big drop off like that, how he couldn't handle that. That for me, that's a little red flag. But hey, it's just my opinion. Yeah.
I totally understand. Chelsea need a CB. I think that we know that. What about Jackson's return? You think uh, he's always ready to play. The question is whether to believe what we've been hearing that he's open to returning and also playing for Chelsea again. And if that's the case, probably then the issue, his main problem at Chelsea must have been Enzo Maresca, which I think is believable the way Maresca spoke about him in public. Even though I'd still say he wasn't ready to stay and compete and play second fiddle to anybody. But had he stayed, I think probably uh, he'd be playing a lot. Yeah, because he's capable of playing on the flanks too, and on the left hand side especially. Let's see, what else do we have here? Imagine JP together. Probably they're not. I think if we have both, they're probably not going to be playing together all the time. And big up to you too, Tebe. Good. Nice to see you all there. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation this particular morning. It is still 5:33 a.m. CST. If you're just joining and you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're back. We're going to be streaming consistently, and if possible, twice a day. One in the morning, one in the evening, to discuss topics while they're still hot. Good morning, Masters Ibrahim. Thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you haven't, please drop a like on the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yes, the likes do go a long way. Dante, let's look at this report from David Onston. It makes sense. And you know the funny thing? A lot of people aren't saying that things he's saying these days are all briefs. They're not saying that much this time. But I don't want to get into that, but let's read this. I think it makes sense. And we did talk about that, I wouldn't say at length. I think it makes sense that I think they've been moving quick, even though they said they would take their time. But taking their time doesn't mean that they're not going to, you can say, move quickly behind the scenes to start speaking to managers, at least to make progress so that they don't run into the issues of getting it done before preseason, because they would want the new manager to take over and have his boys for preseason. I think that would make life a lot more easier for the incoming manager. But let me read it here. David Onsen says in the next days, not even months, actually, in the next days, I would expect conversations between Chelsea and representatives of candidates. And then in the weeks ahead, they will be asking clubs for permission to potentially speak to them, and that process will accelerate towards the end of the season. And I do expect an appointment early in the summer. This makes sense because they would want the manager to be part of the conversation when it comes to the players they're going to be signing in the summer. I don't think they'd be, you can say, be proactive in terms of signing players and then telling the manager, okay, we signed these players, come and work with them. I think because yeah, they might end up signing the profile of players that the manager wouldn't want to work with or don't like. The second paragraph reads, I wouldn't expect it to drag on too long, and that may rule out some of the coaches are going to be working at the World Cup. It's likely that it will come down to a handful of names, as I understand it. Yeah. And chances are all the names we're hearing right now might not be on the list, or it would just be one, two, or three of them on the list. Because a lot of names have actually come up. Even Mourinho, I don't believe that. Even if it happens to be on the list, it'd be probably a short-term contractors to have them come in and stabilize things for us. But Dante, what do you make of the report? For me, it makes sense.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday a little bit. They're going to take a little bit of time to see what candidates are available, who can come when, can start, etc. I did say maybe even they might even stretch it after the World Cup. It depends who they're going for and who they really want. If that guy is there and he says he'll come after the World Cup, they might be entitled to wait for that person. So we'll wait and see.
But
Like
if
I said,
anybody says they will come after the World Cup, they probably haven't signed some agreement.
correct.
Because
Yep.
if they don't sign anything, you risk them. You can say deciding not to come after the World Cup. I don't think they would just decide to wait for anybody because that person told them he would come
Yeah.
after the World Cup. But go
I'm
ahead.
not sure the legal issues behind that binding. There could be some pre-agreement, 100%. So I'm just saying if there's one guy that really, really,
Yeah,
really
pre-agreement was the
want,
language I was looking for.
yeah, if
The
he's top
term.
of their list by far and they really want that guy, they might wait for him. But otherwise, if, he's not, some of the ones that are available, they can come in early as well. Like I said, it's not going to make too much of a difference because all of our players will not be here. They'll all be off season, and all of them are pretty much at the World Cup, most of them, and they will also come back late anyway. So I don't see too big of a rush, to be honest, because of the World Cup. I think they can take their time, and even if they really want someone from the World Cup that's leaving the post after the World Cup, etc., well, they should wait for him, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Either way, we'll get someone, but who, we'll wait and see who that is.
Yeah, but this is a perfect breakdown of, you could say, how the timeline of the process will most likely
That's Ornstein's
emerge.
opinion. Yes, that's just Ornstein's personal
That's his
opinion.
opinion, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, of course it makes sense. But yeah, the only thing I said there that I maybe don't agree quite with, like I said, if they really want a guy and he's at the World Cup and he's going to come up, I think they will probably wait for him if he's the right coach and the right, like I said, but number one on their list by far, they might be willing to wait for him a little bit because it's not going to make much of a difference anyway, to be honest. So yeah, that's the only thing I sort of about that.
Yeah, I mean, not without a pre-agreement. Yeah, road to 30K. We're getting there. The moment once we hit 30K, we'll do a kit giveaway for the community members. Let's see. The question to the panel: do you trust the sporting directors to hire the right coach after making several mistakes? That's you could say there are plenty of reasons not to trust them to do the right thing.
And it's not just the sporting directors.
Not just the sporting directors, yeah. There are plenty of reasons to suspect, you could say, not to believe that they're going to get it right. But then again, at the same time, I strongly believe they're not going to make that mistake again. Because the fact that the club said that they would take stock, I think the stock taking process must definitely will definitely involve a um, higher ups looking at how well they've done overall. Because for me, I think if you look at all the managers they've hired, if in fact they were all they were that is they were the people that made the sole decisions to hire those people, no interference from anywhere, then I think they're in trouble, and that is just my opinion. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. But I think from what we've heard, I strongly believe we're going to make the right decision. But
And also,
I'm not happy that I'm not
yeah,
hearing the name of the current Crystal Palace manager. But that doesn't mean that he's not. They're not considering him, because as we did discuss yesterday, chances are all the names we've heard that are on the list might not be actually there, or it might just end up being one or two people. I don't see the reason why they'd be considering Marco Silva. But go ahead, you were saying something, Dante.
you just add to that, to getting, they're looking to get a better manager this time. Obviously, they've learned from Rosina, they went for that risk, and it's not going to happen. So they are looking.
And they knew, given the break clause, they knew it was a huge risk.
It was, yes. But like I said, options were very minimal, and they decided to go for it. It is what it is. They've done a mistake. It is what we move on from that now. But also, managers will now look at Chelsea, the players, the squad we have. They know what they can work with. It's not for free 2 years or 3 years ago where it was a bit of a mess, signing 100 players
They're
and
more mature right now.
more mature. We've got established players. We've won as well last year. They look at the squad now a little bit different with the players we have now there and are going to add as well. So that will help in getting that type. It was very difficult to get a top class manager. They wouldn't have come anyway. They wouldn't have come to us because they were not going to go through that. They're just not going to go through that. They don't need to. Now we're on the end of that cycle, so they can come because we do have those established stars already, and we can add some more now as well going forward. But we've got that established base where coaches can look at the team, said, yeah, I can do work with these guys. I like these guys,
And with the
Corella,
promise of
Enzo.
a few more experienced signings.
Yeah, João Pedro, Palma, this, maybe whoever it was signed, if they'll have a bit of say, etc. So it's a bit more appealing, and it's easier to get a better coach now than it was 2, 3 years ago when we were, very much transitioning through youth as well. So yeah, I think it's much better this time around. We'll be able to get a much more experienced, better coach this time.
Yeah, Jay, I'll come to you in a bit.
Um,
Let me catch up with what we have here.
yeah.
Just give me one moment. Dante, he's asked you which coach you prefer. I think you don't like any of them, do you?
Not really, no. I'd love for Pochettino to come back to Tobago.
Potter, maybe. Chelsea, they need experienced coach, but no local coach. Okay, thank you for that, Saeed. And Resilio joins us here. Hi, this is LinkedIn Liam. I'm sorry for my miserable coaching. Please, fans, forgive me. I'm never gonna update those lists because it's become too much. Actually, I'm not gonna try to update it. Jay, I'll come back to you in a bit. Um, oh my goodness, you're a sinner, man. But see Javier. Um, Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We should be doing a lot better than 9 likes. If you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. What else do we have here? Andoni Iriola is their top target. I don't believe that really, because I've read contrasting uh, reports. Some suggest he is at the top of the list. Some suggest they haven't actually, but they're considering him too. But nobody, they haven't spoken to to the camps of any of the managers. But yeah, big up to you too, Kim So. I do hope you're doing well. Kim So says, yeah, let's see. Nothing will change. These owners are clueless. Okay. Leeds 4, Chelsea 1. Thank you. I'm happy. I think we're winning. I think we're definitely
That's a
winning.
good sign. Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good sign.
yeah, that's a good sign. I do not trust them, but do you? I support Chelsea. I don't know why people always come here trying to find a way to get me to say I love the owners or I trust them. And I've said 1,000 times, I can start listing how many times I believe they've made mistakes. But one thing I will never agree with people is that, yeah, they are on papers failing because they just want to make money. They're signing players because they want to flip them and make gain. So stop asking me such questions. And I'm not the one that you will hear start screaming blue coat out. Why? Because it's never going to happen. If it makes sense to you, even if there's a way for them to sell this club now, how much they've put in, let's stick with 2 billion. That's the numbers we've heard people mention. Let's stick with 2 billion. Do you think they are the sort of people that will flip the club for 2.5 billion? They will be looking for 6 billion. And who do you think can realistically bring 6 billion and give them? And remember, rich people are greedy. And we have how many rich people in the consortium? They put in work, irrespective of whether you think they've been having fun or giving themselves a raise. So that it's just a matter of using your number 6 to see. It just doesn't make sense to be screaming blue coat out or calling them clown and all that. You have every right to do that, but I'm not going to do that. And as I've told people, you know what will move them? That poll that showed that majority of the fans don't like them. They're not going to like that. That can get them to rethink their model or their approach or their path. And then Kukurea speaking publicly, intelligently, constructively, and respectively. He didn't do anything wrong. I know a lot of people are saying he did that. No, he didn't. He spoke the truth. And he started very well by saying, we have a lot of good players and they're all good and we've won stuff, but we need to sign more, something to that effect. I can't remember word for word what he said, to sign more experienced players to start winning things. When I saw that, I said, that's it. That is going to get to them. It's
He
not
said
about you going to the
if we
stadium.
had a
It's
couple
not.
more, yeah.
Yeah, it's not about you going to the stadium with placards and all that, calling them names. If anything, you will force them to double down in shame or even without, or driven by their egos because they're humans. Without even knowing, they will double down trying to prove to you that they know what they're doing. So, but that's by the way. You have every right. You can go print clothes, have blue coat out, hashtag on them. It's your life, not mine. But I'm not going to do that because I understand it won't change anything. There are better ways to push for them to make changes. They will get another yes man. And the yes man thing, I think is absolute nonsense. And tell me, you, if you have a job, tell me if you're not a yes man. But I think the definition of what we call yes man, we're just saying, put it in a way that the manager don't have a say in anything. Some people actually stretch it to the extent of saying they dictate the lineup for the manager, which is absolute horse dog. Yes man, yes. If you work for them, you're a yes man. They will ask you questions. Why didn't we play well the other day? Or maybe, I don't know the sort of question. I don't know what you guys think they're saying yes man to. Or yes man because, yeah, he'd be okay with, they will tell him, we want to sign Gittins. Can you make it work? And he says yes. I'm not sure how to actually weigh into that argument. Things aren't perfect, but I think because most of the big accounts are at Chelsea, content creators, they thrive when we are in crisis. So every little thing, they blow it out of proportion. But right now, we're in real crisis. I have to say that. But I just want to mention that we have accounts that thrive when we're in crisis. So every time we have small issue, they blow it out of proportion. And then next time when we win one trophy or trophy or two, you see them apologizing because it's not their thing to speak objectively about situations. That's why I respect Jan. That's why whenever I'm pissed about a loss or pissed about the situation or how badly the club is run, I go to Jan. Even when he's pissed, he speaks objectively about the situation. He does make sense too. He never ever loses his shit because, yeah, we're in crisis. Because you have followers. who you need to understand the truth. And I respect him the most because he always, even when you could tell that he's losing his SHIT, that he's pissed, but he will still speak objectively. And people in the comment section respect him for that. So my point is, no, I don't love the owners. Why would I have a wife I love? I have kids I love. If you say like, maybe I'll consider answering that question. But my point is, again, please stop doing that. I don't know them. I don't get a cent from them. I don't even make enough to pay for the cameras I'm using. It's
That's you,
passion.
coach. That's you. I get
Yeah, and
plenty
I
from
what
them.
I would want the channel to start making enough that yeah, I sometimes I can actually tell my boss because yeah I work from home, but it makes it a lot easier. I tell them, you know what, F it, I don't want to work. I'd like that to happen someday, but that's not my priority. I just want to be here to always speak the truth the best I can.
I'm trying, coach.
I'm
I'm
not
trying to get you
perfect.
on the payroll.
Sometimes emotions can, you can say, impair my judgment to the measure that I'll stop speaking objectively even without knowing it. But the point is, yeah, the owners aren't perfect, but can we talk about them and talk about them objectively and talk sensibly? Because I've heard a lot of people say they don't want to win anything, they just want to make money. How? What sort of sense does that make? They just want to flip players and make profit. Flip how many players to make break even, let alone start making profits. Flipping players actually will not be enough to cover the salaries of players. I, I'm done talking about that. But
Move on,
Kim,
coach.
so
Move on.
thank you for winding me up this morning. Um, Javi is this similar to Maresca. He saved Bata. I don't. He said, look, Javi comes across as that of that manager that's always you can say, you know what? Maybe I don't know him that well, but I suspect he might struggle in the Premier League. I could be wrong. Glasner, Irola are basketball type coaches. Our players won't cope. Possibly, a lot of people fear, like Tobeho would tell you that a lot of our players will get injured or playing for those managers. João Pedro, okay. But thank you for that, Jade. Let's hear you. The David Austin report and any other thing you want to chip into, we're listening. Did we lose Jay, or has it gone to eat dinner or lunch? Or Jay, you
Probably.
there? All right, I think we might have to move on. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and now try to get to subsequent contribution in the chat. Somebody please trigger that command, Kimso. Question, exclamation mark, Kimso. Let's hear it. Javi Alonso will not happen. It will happen. If we give him a call, he will be. Can we stop that nonsense that managers will reject Chelsea job? It's a freaking lie.
Sorry, I'm
The
back,
only
coach.
thing some of those managers in question will do is make some demands. Then we will say we're not going to do it.
Look at the Zerbi. He
Yeah,
went to Tottenham.
exactly. But some of them will take the job, especially the up and coming ones, because to them it's an opportunity to prove that he can actually coach a big club. But let's hear you, Jay.
Sorry, coach, I'm back. What was the question?
Did you doze off?
I'm back. What was the question? Sorry.
No, I knew you weren't. You left your desk probably. I'm saying, you want to chip in anything you heard you want to chip into, or you want to say anything about the report, David Austin report on the screen here before we move on.
I think that is all speculation about on-screen, but yeah, in general, what Dante was saying, I think I have a bit different view. In fact, I have a totally opposite view. He thinks that we are attractive place right now than what we were 3 years back. I think it's the opposite. I think we are at a worse place. I do not think we are that much of attractive to players and managers at the current state because of the things that have happened in the last few seasons, and that is going to be of contributing factor to what kind of a manager we are going to get in the next coming weeks and months. So yeah, that is just the point that I want to add because of our, uh, our uh, our state on the pitch as well as off the pitch. There is a clear, it's out in the public that how this football club is run, the hierarchy, the system, the role of the owners and the power of the sporting directors. So these are the constraints that is known to managers outside, and all those powerful ones or the popular ones. The popular ones are the one who have a really high, a reputation among the fans, and the ones who hold a reputation amongst the fans, they are not really going to, agree with the hierarchy or the sporting directors because they are always answerable towards the fans, and that is why they always avoid a structure which is too much complex and where the power levels are more towards the hierarchy than themselves, and that is where I think that we are going to lose out on some of the candidates, and that is the harsh reality that we are going to face. And I think Ornstein reported yesterday that the owners have, indicated that the sporting directors are going to be the ones who are going to lead the process of dictating and choosing the next manager, which again does not fill me with any trust. I know we discussed it earlier this morning as well. I had a hope when I heard it from maybe I think it was Matt Law or Nizar Kansela, I think, who said that the owners themselves are going to, pick the manager this time, and that is what gave me a bit hope. But now Ornstein is saying it's going to be the sporting directors again, which again doesn't fill me with any confidence, and I'm
But
just so
given
again.
there are, you could say, two perspectives to the story. Um, just take it. You could say both as being rumors at that. You could say at this time, and you know fully well that the owners wouldn't want to see such. You could say make a mistake in terms of hiring the right person.
100%. We have heard things that the owners are more cautious, they are self reflecting, and they have agreed that they have made mistakes as well. And that is going to impact the decision that now they are going to take. And I'm very much hopeful. And I hope that this is the thing that is going to happen and that is going to dictate how they are going to take the next action. Because that is going to impact, this club on a major level. Because this summer is going to be very much powerful in terms of which direction we are going to go. And if they are really, agreeing to the mistakes, then hopefully they will take a decision which is going to reflect something different to what we have been seeing in the last maybe 1 or 2 years. So yeah, I'm hopeful.
All right, thank you for that. I heard they want a Spanish-speaking coach. Does that? Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if they want a Spanish-speaking coach, but more importantly, must be fluent in English or able to communicate effectively in English. I think it makes sense, but I haven't heard anything as such. AB, thank you for joining us. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you. It's been a minute. I do hope you're doing well. I mean, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. But let's see. You say Xavi made Lamal. Again, as such, he's a good coach. Discovering Lamine Yamal doesn't necessarily mean you're a good coach. Yeah, it doesn't. But that's my opinion anyway. You look over what outside of footballing circumstances, PSG trashing. That was where everything started, and yeah, he was, they could say, the architect of his own downfall. I don't actually think it should be called consortium, given that a lot of most of it comes as private credit by JP Morgan, and yeah, and the others you're mentioning there. We have to respect the boy. Yeah, we have to. Discussing with this brother right here, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun there. I hope they take their time. They will take their time, but there's only time from here to summer. The length of time is from now to summer. They have to get it done. I think that's enough time for them to do their homework, just like David Einstein explained. If it drags on, they wouldn't. I think they'd want to get it over with before summer or within that period. And I think by the time we get to summer, they probably already know who the person is and will be making decisions with regards to signing with that person. Otherwise, it will be another mistake in waiting because you sign players that might turn out to not be the players that the manager would want to work with. And keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I'm not sure why we're stuck in 10 likes. I think we should be doing a lot better than that. So if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream. Drew is back. Drew, nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the conversation. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, then I'll try and get your subsequent contributions in the chat. He says, are you ready to lose again? It's a possibility, but I don't think we're losing today because football is a very funny game. The slightest change in approach causes a lot of a lot of problems for the opposition manager. And in this case, I think there will be a drastic change in approach. Lineup might be the regular first 11 we see, but the approach will changing approach will create a lot of issues for Leeds United. We're not going to be that open that they will carve us open with just a straight pass from the midfield. I can assure you that won't be the case on the day. Xabi Alonso wants Liverpool coach. Again, Liverpool is home to him, so that may well be the case. I and Kim, so we fight every day on Instagram. So let me make it public here. Yakon, have I said hello to Yakon? I think I did see his comment. I don't know if I've said hello to him. I always said Dante was on Blue Co payroll as a joke. We know that, and he knows that. Coach Javi made. Okay, I've read that, and my response is, look, that doesn't necessarily mean he's a good coach. Why would Xavi take this job? He would destroy his career for just 5 months of coaching. Do you think they reason that way? In most cases, they don't reason that way. If the club gives him a call, but I don't think they're considering him. You say Xavi Hernandez, not Xabi. This is Xavi. You're not talking about the former Liverpool player. If they give him a call, I think he will take it in a habit. If anything, he will make requests. He will have the club guarantee certain things. Yeah. So let's see. All right. So I think it's time to start the match preview exercise proper. There's nothing much out there to talk about. David Onstein, we've discussed this comment of his. We've talked about Antonio Rudiger. We did discuss the comparison of Alex Scott. His numbers compared to that of Enzo Fernandez. That was a lady that I remember being in Sky Sports. Did go by the name Alex Scott. All right, but that's by the way. Dante semifinals at Wembley against Leeds United. How are you feeling about that? And what do you make of my opinion that the change in approach will make life a lot difficult for Leeds United? And I think we're winning this. I'd be shocked
Yeah,
if we don't beat them. But let's hear you.
yeah, McFarlane, well, he'll set up a bit back how sort of Maresca sort of set up a bit. So we'll wait and see what he does exactly, but we will be quite solid, I think, more defensively, not as open, a bit more compact, and yeah, it will
Not a
be a
lot
little
of fancy stuff.
not a lot of sense. I think it'll be more general, more basic stuff. Get a solid formation and keep it tight. Don't leave many openings for Leeds to exploit in behind, etc. So yeah, I expect it to be quite a tight game, to be honest, because of that. I think it'll come down to probably a goal difference in the end. So yeah, I think it'll be quite a tight game because we'll be quite cautious, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also probably we'll try to hit them on the transition because usually they're actually very open to play against.
Yeah, well, look, McFarlane, he's gonna. I think possession will be key. We're gonna have more possession. I think. I think he'll want to keep the ball a lot more and pass it around, tiki taka, pass it around like Maresca sort of did. Ball possession first, and closing down those spaces and getting in the right spaces, the right circles, etc. On the field, where to link up and keep the ball away from the opposition. Let them run. You keep the ball. You let them run. So not run with them or run more than them. You let them run and you keep the ball and you exploit the spaces when they do that. So That's what I'm expecting more of, a little bit more of what sort of Maresca's system was before.
Jay, how about you? Looking forward to this one before we even start to look at what we can learn from the numbers.
Yeah, a bit more enthusiastic. If it was Rosinho, I was 100% feeling that we were going to lose this match. So thankfully he's gone. At least it gives us some sort of chance in the semi-final because irrespective of the season, I think it's still a trophy. Just 2 matches away from clinching a trophy in somewhat horrible circumstances would be really good if we can do that. But yeah, towards this match, I'm a bit more enthusiastic. As Dante mentioned, McFarlane, he would set us a bit more pragmatic. He is speaking. We saw his comments as well that it's going to be more controlling football, and we would have much better control than what we were seeing under Rosinho. And the most important thing is the attitude of the players. I think, which is a bad thing actually, because you cannot just switch on and switch off just because you have lost faith in a coach. It's a bad, it gives a bad message about the players. But that is the harsh reality. I think the players would be much better as well because I think their attitude was the main reason why we were. That horrible under Rosinho. There's no way that this team, this current squad, loses 3-0, in 4 matches out of 5 in the last few weeks. No way. It's down to attitude and the will to play for that guy Rosinho. I think that is going to be a major factor as well. Maybe guys like Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella are going to suddenly give you some better performances as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward. They are going to bring a lot of energy with their fans because it means a lot more to them than it will mean to us. So it's going to be hard. They are going to run a lot. They are going to push and put us under pressure a lot. But it's going to be a game of controlling those harsh moments. And I'm expecting at least better football and better game management from us. And then the result, I think anything can happen on that day. It's down to how Palmer and João Pedro are going to perform, especially Cole Palmer, which is still a 50-50 whether he's going to play or not.
Yeah, I agree with you. Before we start looking at team form, injury news, and all that, yeah, let me say this quickly. If we do that, we'll be doing that blindly. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. You're saying he won't join. If we are serious, if we reach out, if he's not already looking forward to the Liverpool job, as people are already speculating that he will take over from Arne Slot, then he won't. That's the only reason why I'd say he won't come. If Chelsea are serious and he doesn't see path to the Liverpool job, he will come. He will only say, okay, but can you guys do this for me? If you guys can do this for me, I will join. It's really that simple. Can we stop saying people will reject our job? For him, I think he would see the opportunity as another chance to show that, yeah, what he's capable of doing. But you're entitled to yours, I'm entitled to mine, but we can bet on that because we'll be doing that blindly. We're betting, if be that we're betting on, you can say based on speculations. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. If we win the FA Cup, is our season saved? I would say it's good. It's a good season, and hopefully we'll win it. And Arsenal they end up winning nothing, and which is a possibility, really. I feel bad for Arsenal. If come the end of the season, if they end up not winning anything, I think
No,
Arteta will
no,
be
you
gone.
don't. No, you don't. You do not feel bad for them. Don't lie.
No.
I
I'm
don't.
saying I feel bad for them in terms of the sort of banter they will face, and that's
That's the
sarcasm.
fun. What is bad in that? That's actually the fun. How they're going to miss out on the trophies. That's actually the fun. Let's not lie.
No, I agree. I agree with you. So the players, let's see. I can say is that Leeds are unbeaten against CFC. They also have better attackers than us. Do they really? Okay. We need to win, and I think we can win. But the players, it's up to the players and McFarlane to answer that question. Anything else? A question for the panel: would you take Europa League? No. I'm not sure how much you will make to participate in the Europa League. If we miss out on the Champions League, I'd like us not to, if it's not going to hurt us financially, if we can get enough from the Europa League that, yeah, it help us, you could say, not to get into trouble financially, which I don't think that would be the case. I'd rather us not have any European assignments if it is not the Champions League. Because I don't want unnecessary travels next season that will also lead to us end up struggling in the league. I'd like us to, if we miss out of the Champions League, let us just finish where it be, just the Premier League alone and the cup games. I don't want unnecessary European assignments. We've won all of them. We don't need them more. That's my opinion, but it's not up to me. I don't know, but you get the gist, right? All right, big up to all of you. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom so we can move on with the conversation. Yakon here says, but we're not serious. 2 trophies and 2 billion spent in 5 years isn't serious. How much have Manchester United spent since the last time they won any serious trophy with Arsenal? If we're being honest here, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but let's just put it into context. How much have Arsenal spent? Man City too. But Man City, at least they have tons of Premier League trophies and a Champions League trophy to show for it. If we're being honest, really. If Slot is fired and Liverpool hires Alonso, would you go after Slot? No, I never liked Slot. I never liked him at all. And after, it doesn't know, I think, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, I never liked Slot. I'm not going to go for him. So let's go here. Let's open FODMAP here. Give me a second here. Give me a second. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The numbers are improving in total. 49 people following the show, 14 on YouTube. The rest shared between X and Facebook. Whether equally, once again, Kachila doesn't know. Let's see. Which 5 trophies have they won in the last 10 years? Can you name the 5 trophies United have won in the last 10 years? Let's see which ones.
The last big trophy
really.
for the last big trophy for Arsenal was in 2003-04, I think, the Premier League. So that's what 23,
and the
24
last
years.
Yeah, exactly. And Arteta, go ahead.
And United maybe 2011-12, I think.
They won Europa League.
That counts. Yeah, Europa League was the last serious stuff they won.
That was last year, wasn't it?
Europa League is not the bigger trophy, right? It's not a major achievement. Major is Champions League and Premier League.
I mean, it still counts. It's a European trophy. Winning Europa League is about 15 million, but yeah, you in pursuit of the 15 million, it stretches your squad. A lot of travels and all that. That could end up being the difference between you achieving, you could say, European football in the league or not. So for me, it's a lot, but not quite a lot. It depends on your priorities and your situation.
You get into the Champions League, coach. So if you win the Europa League, you get Champions League the season
Okay,
after.
yeah, exactly. So then now it makes sense. Then maybe, but I still wouldn't. Yeah, I think it makes sense now. Yeah, if you win the Europa League, then you participate in the Champions League the following season, then that's fine. But for Conference League, I'd rather us not waste time there.
Can you believe Nottingham Forest can scam UEFA Champions League qualification just 2 matches away from that? So that is a big, I think that's a big factor.
And Aston Villa as well, yeah.
That's Aston Villa, yeah, obviously they are in the Champions League places, but
Aston
Forest
Villa
was 17th or what?
If Aston Villa win the Europa League and finish 5th, then 6 teams go to the Champions League. If we finish 6th, whoever finishes 6th goes to the Champions League as well.
But you know what,
can you say that again?
Yeah, coach, if Europa League, if Aston Villa win the Europa League, they're in the semi-final. If they win it and they finish 5th, Then the sixth team that finishes sixth in the Premier League also goes to the Champions League.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the it's a fact, and it
And
has been in
where are
the
Aston Villa? They're still progressing, right?
They're fourth, I think. Where are they?
No, no. In
yeah.
in the in the Europa League, they
They're in the
won their last
semi-final.
game.
They're in the semi-final, yeah.
And Unai Emery, that's his thing. That's his domain.
That's his domain,
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he's won
So
like
we
3 million of those trophies.
so we want Liverpool to overtake them, right, in the points table.
correct. Yes. They're only 3 points away. So, like, and yeah, they're going to play semis and they're going to play if they get to the final, which they should. So, yeah, that could affect their league position quite a bit. But they won't mind because they will then prioritize probably to win that Europa League because to win a trophy for them like that, they'll prioritize that.
Yeah, Kim
You
said I
know
totally
what?
forgot about that, but I'm still saying I don't want anything that would distract us if it doesn't. You can say I don't want like the Conference League. It doesn't for me.
Yeah,
It
Conference League,
not
I can understand.
yeah,
That's a total
not a lot
wastage
of
of time.
money. Plus all the stress and the teams that play Conference League, a lot of travels, a lot of you could say dungeon stadiums where you have to. You can say teams you haven't heard of. Some nonsense. I wouldn't honestly.
No, not
Yeah.
conference. Europa I would take. Definitely, Europa's
I would
pretty
take
good.
Europa for the reasons. Yeah, I totally forgot about that, but thank you for educating me. Yeah, I think I would
And
take
also,
it for
you can
that
play.
reason.
You don't have to play your first team all the time there. You can actually rest players as well and actually develop some of your younger players, which is actually very good. So I would definitely take Europa. If you remember me last year, I said it would have been actually good to have Europa, this year and then maybe next year qualify for the Champions League because we thought we were 1 year sort of ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe we weren't quite ready, but obviously we made the Champions League, which is fine. But um, yeah, I don't mind Europa at all. It's, if you're not gonna
And
Conference League, if
let's
not Europa, yeah, you can. Like I said, there's a way back to the Champions League, and you can play your younger team, sort of second, third slash team a lot in those early stages as well. So I think it's actually pretty good, and you make a lot of money from home games as well.
yeah. And let's not joke. It's still a pretty prestigious trophy. I think Europa League is quite a bigger achievement. It's not a,
I mean, it's a
joke
European
like
trophy.
exactly.
I'm just saying, if it wasn't for the fact that, yeah, that's another way to get the Champions League ticket, I'd say I'd rather we not be in it, and then because it stretches the squad.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it does
stretches the
stretch,
squad,
but
yeah. But the fact that it's another way to get you could say, to get the ticket to the Champions League, why not?
when you're young, I think that's good because then you can actually those players that are quite young, like we have, those second team slash third team players, you can give them quite a lot of game time, and that really will improve them quite a lot quicker as well. So yeah, look, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to play your star players every week in the Europa League. It's you can get away with playing other players as well. So yeah, I think it's a bonus. You need
So for
European
this thing
football.
now, what we're looking at the screen here, Yakon, the only important trophy there for me, Europa League. So
Yeah,
two
and
FA
even that is
Cups,
not a
two
major.
Carabao Cups, one Europa Cup, and one Community Shield. So that just that one after spending billions. Yeah, for us, we spent. Can you check how much they won by winning all those trophies? How much in total?
Yeah,
We
well,
won the
people
Club
how
World
much
Cup.
we
Got how
sold,
much?
how much we
Sorry.
sold.
No, I
That's
know they
more
don't.
important.
You know what? you can say I've gotten to a stage where I don't argue with people. I don't ask them to calculate how much we made from selling players. I don't do that anymore. I let them knock out themselves.
No, but
But yeah,
that's a big point, coach. Because
yeah,
Man United
the-
don't sell like us. Arsenal don't sell like us. These teams don't sell like we did.
yeah.
We sold
But they
eight
spent
hundred.
a lot. And
We
how
sold a
much
lot.
did we make from? How much did we make for winning from winning the Club World Cup? A lot of money. I think it was 200 and something million, right? Wasn't it?
Can't remember exactly. I thought it
But it
was
was a lot of
80
money,
million
and
or
we won
something.
the Conference League, two major trophy, one European trophy, and then one Club World Cup trophy, the biggest of all. So, but I don't want to get into that argument. It depends who you're asking. Yeah, their perception of the trophies, how they see the trophies in question. But I don't want to get into that argument. But yeah, can knock yourself out if you feel like, yeah, you want to find a way to justify your argument that we spent billions. I agree, we spent billions, but I don't want to get how much did we make from selling some of the players we have. You have to actually deduct to conclude, okay, net, this is how much we spent. But I've retired from debating that. You can go ahead and knock yourself out with it. Europa is the best of both worlds. Okay. A lot of shin kickers in the Conference League. I don't want us to play there if it's not. Again, if it's not the Europa League, since yeah, we can get the Champions League ticket from winning that. For me, I think the Conference League is just useless. And we've won it all, except if they create a new one, maybe we can stoop low enough to get a chance to win the new one. We win the FA Cup, we get Europa League. So that makes it important also. The FA Cup, that makes it very important because since yeah we get Europa League for winning it, which gives us an opportunity to also get a Champions League ticket. So yeah, they find a way to make you take it seriously. Exactly, people here trashing. Nobody here trash Europa League. No, but I would gladly trash Conference League. Europa League is actually our level, not UEFA Champions League. Okay, what is it we have here? There's a strong possibility that both Chelsea and Strasbourg could be in the same competition, creating a problem, and we've heard that before. And I've not been paying attention, but it looks like it's about time I started paying attention to that. But that's by the way, insights. Only two items for the insights here. We've lost
No problem, Craig.
our last three matches. And then Leeds United, they haven't lost in 7 matches. So we're the underdogs in this one. We've been losing games right, left, up and down, and center. So yeah, they're the informed team. So Dante, does it concern you that they haven't lost in 7 matches and we've lost our last 3 matches? The one we won, a team from Division 29, actually. But go ahead, Dante, let's hear you. Does that concern you or you think we're good?
Yeah, look, they've played well, but they have also played, West Ham, Burnley, Wolves, Man United, but Man United got a player sent off. Bournemouth, these type more the lower end teams. So they've had a good run, but the teams around them they've beaten. But yeah, they've been playing well, but they still play their style that they play. We know how they play, and we're usually pretty good against that. Even last time we played when it was 2-2, we are absolutely obliterated them in that first half. In that first 70 minutes, they didn't have nothing, and then they scored 2 goals with 2 touches at the end, 2 mistakes that we made right at the end. So yeah, look, it just depends how you set up against them and how you play. Normally, if it was Rafinha, it'll probably be a high scoring game. But I think with McFarlane there, like we said earlier, I think it'll be more tight, more us possession, and they will sit. We'll make them sit a bit more because we're going to have a lot more of the ball. We're going to make them chase the ball a lot more. So it's just simple. Don't make mistakes and take your chances because we're going to get quite a few chances, I think. So yeah, look, keep them away from the ball, and you win this game pretty easily. Now, can we do that? No mistakes. That's that's
I think
that's
we
the key.
can.
We can
With,
because we've
with,
shown we can. We've done it
with
before
a
against them
cautious
last
approach, I
time.
think we can.
But we've also shown that we can make mistakes as well and give them goals as well. So if we don't do that, I think we're fine. We usually control these games pretty well. It's just don't turn off, be concentrated, don't make mistakes at the back because that's how they're going to score. Making a mistake because they're very quick on the transition on the counter, and they're very quick at when they win the ball up high or in midfield. They're very quick then to go the other way. So it's about limiting those mistakes, basically cutting off all lanes. With McFarlane there, I'm much more confident. Definitely, yeah.
I am. Yeah, if we had Razinha, I wouldn't even watch it.
No, I
And I'm
still watch
serious.
it because it'll be very entertaining.
I
Actually,
wouldn't. The
it'll be a
only
high
time I
scoring
watch it,
game.
if I want to find out what happened, I'd watch the replay to learn from it. But in all honesty, I would not have watched it if we had a Rosenia. Yeah, because it was not because he's a bad manager. Because yeah, I've started to sense low confidence. And it's that we find ourselves in that sort of situation. No matter how well you play, you end up losing games, and I think that would have
Yeah.
continued had we not, which was why I wanted the club to fire him even before the Man City game. So
Well, no,
that,
like
yeah.
last game, it was
Mhm.
clear that first half. Last game, it was clear that they weren't playing for him at all, and they kind of, yeah, they weren't running, weren't listening to his instructions. So, yeah, that was the end of it. Unfortunately, he knew that as well at the end of that game. That's why he called them out that much because he knew he was gone as well. So, yeah, look, needed the change. It's good, but like I said, yeah, McFarlane will be a bit more pragmatic, and we'll set up more as we used to. So it will be a lot more ball possession, more passing it around. Yes, it will be slower and movement and slower, and build up play so much slower. But this team is made for that. It's made for possession control. That's the players we have. We have more technical ball playing players. So yeah, I think he'll definitely do that, McFarlane.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah, we have to arrest the result. All right, I think it's become a meme forever. So let's look at this. If you look at Leeds United numbers here, they're averaging, I think, if you break that down, that should be around 1.7 something goals per game. And in our last 5 games, yeah, barely one for us. So numbers suggest, you could argue, goal concession, goals scored per game. We've averaged at least yeah, three here. Jesus Christ, around 2.1.
Not having João Pedro coach made a massive difference.
Yeah, at least 1.8. So if we're going by what the numbers, goal concession and goal scored per 90 minutes here, given what we're looking at the screen, my numbers suggest, yeah, it's going to be a loss for us. But you cannot script football, and we had a few players, again, who didn't play. In João Pedro didn't play how many games out of those? But it doesn't really matter. I think things have changed now. Managerial change makes a huge difference. A change in approach makes a huge difference. Those factors for me change everything. And which I think Leeds United, they would have preferred that we still have Rosinha as our manager. So I don't know, Jay. You want to say anything before we get to the lineup prediction exercise so we can get it done and call it a day?
Yeah, let's go with the lineup.
All right, let's go for it. I'm going to open the window. And if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it. We'll try to address it. And remember, the secret is for you not to ask difficult questions. If you do, we'll pretend we can't see it. Okay? So let's see. Let me see what this bro has to say here. All right, Drew is saying, let's read that. I would encourage everyone to think critically when a brief comes out and asks you who benefits from this version of events being out in the public, and how does that change the veracity is that how you pronounce that, of the info. uh, for me, I'm the sort of person that I don't suck up to a lot of stuff I see. Most of them I don't even look at. So I'm not into the brief thing. I just look away and take what can from the information, or whatever the so-called brief, and move on. That's how I operate, really. Yeah, but we all operate, see things from different lenses. Okay, where is that? Did he open? Is it this guy here? Why is this Lewandowski here? Okay, there you go. I'm gonna still continue training Juju Predictor. He has gotten 11 out of 21 predictions right, and well, even you can say it does that with statistical formulas. Even that. Okay, what does that mean? Penalties? Wow. Yeah. Chelsea's inconsistent run leads more solid form. Leads more solid form. Blues need to find their rhythm. Changing approach gives me hope, but we'll see. So let's go to lineup builder. We'll open it and have some fun, then call it a day. If he goes to pen, I'm not sure who's gonna win. Um, João Pedro is fit, right?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he'll play. He trained.
Cole Palmer is fit. Both trained.
They're both trained, but they said he'll make a call, you know, today basically. So I do expect them to play though. I expect both of them to play. I think they both will start, in my opinion.
I think he's meant this. If I, it's gonna be. I don't want to break you to rules right now.
No, can't talk about that too
I'm not
much
gonna
because yeah,
do
the
this.
rules. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we've
can't
talked
talk
about
about
it
that
too
too
much.
much.
It's crossing the line right now. All right, let's go. Let's say who wins on pens. I'm not sure who's gonna win on pens. I'm not sure, but listen, don't trust Juju Predictor. It's still being trained. It goes by players' availability, and form. It recognizes that yeah, that we've been poor, and that Leeds they've been in better form, but it still thinks it will end in 1-1, which means yeah, it goes to extra time. Is there extra time? No, is there
Um,
extra time?
I'm not sure if they
Surely,
changed it. I can't remember. I'm not
surely
sure.
there must be.
In one of the competitions, there's no extra time. Which
I
one
think
is it?
that's
I'm not sure what's going
I
on.
think that's Carabao. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember either.
All right, let's see. Gonzalo Garcia is available, but also question to the panel: do you sell or loan the lab next season? I would keep him. I would keep him. I don't think we're judging the lab fairly. There are multitude reasons why you say he's been perceived as not good enough. He's had multiple injuries, and even when at times when you can say he's gotten the opportunity to play, it's been 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. There's a good player in there, and I think the lap is being stereotyped as a, you can say, what's the term I'm looking for? People just aren't able to look beyond the physical aspect of his game because he applies himself in a physical manner whenever he's on the pitch. The lap is quite good on the ball. I'm not saying this for the sake of it, but because there's that common, you can say that misconception maybe from the average football fan. Once you're a physical player, it takes a lot to convince the average football fan that you can be good on the ball. He is quite good on the ball, which is why he's actually able to play on the flanks too as a winger. And we need his profile to mix things up. But I think he might push to leave. Except if they can guarantee him, you're fine, just relax. We understand, and we've heard that before, that they're not looking to sell him. They understand that he has had series of injuries, and also managerial change. Also, if you're being honest to yourself, that hasn't helped. But I want to remind us, the same Chelsea fans at some point started questioning why we signed Yoro Hato. But they're seeing, even when you try to explain to them, ask them if they knew him before we signed him, how well he played for Ajax, the fact that he was Ajax's captain at the age of 19. But I think we're all seeing it. But the good thing, I think you could argue, maybe Rosinia understood him more than Maresca did. But I'd still say Maresca did nothing wrong to him. Maresca needed to give him time for him to recover from that awful outing against Karabakh in the Champions League. That was the only thing that happened. I think Maresca liked him, trusted him, and at the time, it was clear to those of us that knew him before we signed him that he needed time. But anyway, I digress. The lap just needs more game time. I'm not saying he's Harry Kane. I'm not saying he's Diego Costa. He's still a very, very young player. Let's not forget that. And that physical aspect of him that people have found it difficult to look beyond and understand that there's a good player in there. I think the more the more he plays, the more polished he becomes, the more it becomes clear to people that he's actually a good player. The lab isn't a bad player. We're judging him unfairly. Can you take your time? You look at calculate how many minutes he's played to the ratio of goals he scored and the assist he has. It's not as bad as a lot of people make it to be. It's not like he's been playing 90 minutes week in, week out. But that's just me. You're entitled to say he's the worst player since Bakayoko, or drink wine, or Danny drink wine. Up to you. But I'm entitled to my opinion and you're entitled to yours. So let's see what else we have here. This extra time. Okay, thank you for that, Drew. Do you guys trust Palmer? I trust Palmer, but I think there's something people don't understand, and I feel like I'm teaching a class right now. I'm gonna go through that again. Even a season perceived as a bad season for Palmer, he has 9 goals, right? I think he has 9 goals in total, right? Something we talked about here before the start of the season. Before the start of the season, what was the season we had? Pochettino. The following season, we told people the more the more you can say how what's the best way to explain this? It would be difficult to experience the Cole Palmer we experienced under Pochettino, not because he will regress, but because we will become more of a unit. Because we've become more of a unit, he's found that there aren't that many hero moments. Let me explain. What do I mean by hero moments? We're not as chaotic as we were under Pochettino, where there were lots of moments for him to exploit and become the hero in majority of the games we played at the time. In one game, he scored 4, actually. But right now, we've become more of a unit. We're not Cole Palmer FC anymore. We're more of a team than we were at the time. I don't know how else to explain that. Which means, well, it'd be difficult. It could still happen again. But it simply means it'd be difficult to still see Palmer get the same. You can say not. I wouldn't say you being. You can say see him in that sort of form we experienced under Pochettino. He can still measure the form, but the goal and assist tally, it'd be difficult for him to measure the output he achieved under Pochettino. Nothing has happened to Palmer. But people are expecting him to still easily measure that output. You're in for a long ride. It could happen again, but it won't be as easy because we're more of a unit than we were then. A lot more. There's João Pedro also, who's also an excellent finisher himself, and actually more physical than. I'm not sure how else to explain this, but I think I've done it. I've done my best in trying to explain that. There's no extra time in Carabao Cup. Okay, so that's what we're mixing up here. The lap is trash. You think, okay? I guess you're not as confident as I thought. No, you can't just. YouTube has rules. Go research it. There's a way. For instance, the day I was telling people there's no coming back from that loss against PSG. I think I promised if we're able to beat PSG, then I'll give away $500. Did I go up to 1,000 on that day? I don't think about. I think I
No,
stopped at
I tried
500.
to get you there, but you didn't know.
Then I just left it there. So no, $20 to $50 is not up to something we give away here every time. No. And the way we did it, the conversation is that it's recorded. If I say it, we're breaking the rule. So maybe next time we'll find. I don't know how it's. I'm not going to start teaching you how you could do it so it don't become like we're gambling. If I do it, then we're still breaking the rule. I tell that the lab, the way we sold KDH, he might. I think he himself might want to move on actually. One goal in 25 appearances. In how many minutes per game? And we only bring him on when we start struggling to score goals. And Yaka says anytime you complain about players not maintaining standards, the immediate reason is the fact that they are young and inexperienced. Is that a bad reason? Not a bad reason. Why bother with having expectations at this point? You have every right to see it the way you see it, but I don't. Look, I see a bad player when I know one. Again, I know a bad player when I see one. So we can sell him. I don't care. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. You could say it wouldn't pain me if we sell him, but I'm just letting you know we're judging him unfairly, and that's my opinion. Um, have like it's JT. Okay, I'm not sure I understand that. Wendy, I'm sorry about that. Palmer needs benching. Maybe he needs benching. FA Cup or bust. I think we need to win it. I think we can, and I think we're going to beat Leeds United for reasons I've explained. Changing our approach, I think that usually causes problems for opposition managers. If we still had Rosinho, I'd say we're definitely losing. Okay, you're saying moments. You didn't drink residual wine. All right, let's get into the line of prediction exercise. I'll start. I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna pick the goalkeeper because I don't want you to go through. You could say the hassle, or you could say the stress of trying to figure out who starts between the sticks on the day. So let me just do that work for you. I'm gonna pick Robert Sanchez. So Dante, let's say you pick the back line. Um,
Yeah. I was gonna say probably be. I think I wouldn't. Depends how we play, but I think Tosin might come in for this. To be honest, from what I saw in training, uh, I think it might be Tosin. Not sure if Shalabaz can go again after his injury. He can go again this quickly, but I know those two are not the best. But I think could be yeah Tosin and Shalaba if he's ready to go. I think those two. He probably choose those two.
you think it's gonna be Tosin and Chalobah?
Look, I'm not sure, but I saw him in training, quite working quite a bit with the coach there, Tosin. So speaking to him as well. So that just gave me a
Is
little bit
Fofana
maybe.
injured?
I don't think he is, no, but I don't know if they're going to play him back to back like this because Chalaba just came back from an injury.
Except if
So
he has a disciplinary issue.
exactly the way yeah, the disciplinary issue. Only reason
The
why,
way he
but
behaved when he was subbed off.
yeah, look, only reason I say Tosin because I saw in the training pictures and video a bit that he was talking to Tosin quite a bit, instructing him to do stuff. So maybe Tosin might come in for that. I don't know, but that's why I say Tosin because I saw that. So
I think Fofana starts, except if he has issues with the manager. I'm not
well,
sure.
it could be Fafana,
But
Tosin and
let's
Fafana then
let
maybe.
me look. You're the one picking the players right now. I'm not. So
Yeah,
let's hear
Tosin,
you. The
Tosin
two
and
center
Fafana then, yeah.
backs. You
Because
think it's going to
Chalobah
be
just came back
Tosin
from an
and
injury, so
Fofana?
I don't think he'll play. 90 minutes back to back. I don't think he'll do that. So yeah, I think you'll just put Fafana and Tosin.
I think Chalobah starts this game. But anyway, it's your lineup. Let's go. I think Chalobah starts. I don't think Tosin might start. I think do they Leeds United, do they carry aerial threat a lot?
The striker does, yes, he does. If we do plan to
Callum,
back a bit more,
former Everton man, he's good aerially.
yeah, very good, yeah. And the other guy, Felix and Mecha as well. He's tall. He's very tall as well. So uh,
Meta.
they've got they've got that aerial. Yeah, if they want to, they've got that striker that's tall. So yeah, look, if we plan to sit back a bit more and pass the ball around, I would play Tosin. Yes, definitely, because he's very good at passing. And then if
And
we're not a high line,
listen,
no
irrespective of what
problem.
people say about Tosin, he's a good box defender.
He's a very good box defender, one of the best actually in the league. If you look at statistics, he's only behind Van Dijk, second.
All
So
right, right
yes, he's
back.
very, very good at that.
Right back.
Right back, probably Gusto. Probably have to be Gusto.
Yeah, that I mean that's the only option.
Or Achampong could be the other one.
But I didn't. I we have. How many times has he played as a right back for us?
Yeah, no, probably not. But if I were to play him, I would play him there. I would play him that right back role if I were to play him.
All right, left back Hato or Kukurea. I'd play Hato. Honestly, he looks like the more committed of the two, and he's quick. I think his recovery pace is some. My goodness, that kid is quick.
It depends what McFarlane. If he goes back to how Maresca played a bit more, then I can see Cucurella starting because then he'll do that, go forward more, do his usual role, basically the role that he's very good at. He wasn't doing that much under Racina the last few games. He was sitting back more, out wide more, not doing that as much. So yeah, I think we'll see Cucurella for this one.
All right, you're the one picking the lineup. Like you say, Kukurea, right? Picking the
Cucurella,
back
yeah,
line
yeah.
right now. I'm just gonna express my opinion and let you know where what I think. Well, again, just give me 1 second here. Let me pick Kukurea here. Where is he? Where is he? Can you see it anywhere? Defenders.
No,
What happened here? Is he placed somewhere
there he
else?
is
There you
on the
go.
right hand side. Yeah.
Placed as a midfielder. Wow. Okay. So Jay, let's hear you. I'm gonna say what why is this? Tosin. This is not Tosin. Is the system going bananas?
No, you're just getting tired, coach.
No, I'm not really. I'm
You
good
put it Vajil Shill
still.
in there, yeah, yeah.
Yep, it has happened twice this morning to me. All right, let's say maybe I'm tired really, but I didn't, and I don't know. So Jay, you've seen Dante's back line. I don't think Tosin starts. I think, oh, you know what? If I'm not sure who's gonna make way, but I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna let you know. I think Chalobah starts.
Um, yeah, I would agree with Gusto and Cucurella. I think Cucurella is the senior player, our first choice to left back, so he is going to start. And for Gusto, I think he is the obvious choice because Reece James is injured. You are not going to suddenly play at Chimpong there in this, such a big Wembley game. The main question is about the centre back, and I personally do not believe that Tosin is going to start out of a sudden because I don't know the last time he started a game. I think the main question is whether it's going to be Fofana and Chalobah or Fofana and Hato. Remember, Hato has been playing as a centre back for a while now, maybe 3 or 4
Ooh, and
matches.
here's the thing. Great point, Jay. And on those occasions he's played a centre back, they look like the best pairing, a centre back pairing we've seen in a while.
I'm not sure about the pairing, but Hato has been the best player in this team whenever, even
I'm
when
just
we
saying,
are losing.
offensively and actually defensively, he's been, especially in our last game, he's been our best player.
Yeah, it has been for a while. Not even the last game. I think he has been exceptional, and even majority of the fans agrees that he is the one player that gives them some kind of positivity out of a match which we are losing 3-0. So he has been the constant player who is performing really well, and at centre back also. So the question is whether it's going to be Fofana and Chalobah or Fofana and Hato. I do not think that Tosin is even in the question, but maybe the height factor again, as Dante mentioned, could be the reasoning. But I think that the pairing that we are seeing for the last few games is the one that we are going to see here. It depends on Chalobah's fitness.
So, where do you disagree?
I do not think that Tosin start, and I think Chalobah has been in the training for a while. So I think our best and experienced centre back pairing that is Fofana and Chalobah starts. Hato is really good, but then again, you would want to go with the experienced guy. I do not think McFarlane will suddenly trust Hato, but Hato has been exceptional. He has been really
He has
exceptional.
been. I agree. I think you could actually argue he made Fofana look better.
Yes, For Tossin, for sure, I do not believe he's going to start. It's
I
whether
don't think so
Chaloba
either.
or Hato.
So where do
Yeah,
you
go with
disagree?
one with Tossin. Instead of Tossin, go with maybe Chaloba or Hato. I do not know.
Okay,
It's a
since okay,
50-50 between them.
since there's a maybe there for you, and if you're watching, you can actually go pick the lineup. Go to chelseaperspective.com, scroll to the very bottom, go to lineup, click on lineup. Then you can predict the lineup too, and the system has a way of recording the 11 you picked. Then before the next game, we can bring up the 11 that the fans selected. The number of users are increasing, but not that many people at this one. Probably because we're not pushing it, and the users aren't introducing more Chelsea fans to use the app. So since we disagree, I'm just going to leave it here. I'm just going to leave it that Zante has left it because you're not certain. I think we're going to see uh, Chaloba and Fofana. Yeah, I think we're going to see Chaloba and Fofana. I don't think we see Tosin. But Jay, I'm going to change the midfield here. I'm going to change the formation. Sorry. 4 2 3
Can
1.
I say one thing,
Yeah,
coach?
go ahead.
Look, I have been very critical of the owners and the sporting directors, and fairly right as well. And I
Mhm.
think majority of the signings have been questionable, but I want to give them the credit for signing Hato, both the owners and the sporting director. He was that
The
one
kid
player
is
who
good.
was in demand. He was in demand as well. It was not a sudden, pick from a random team. Hato was wanted by Liverpool. He was wanted by Arsenal as well, and I think one foreign team in La Liga also. So
I think it was
credit to the sporting
Barcelona.
directors.
I think it was
Yeah, so
Barca. I
credit to
can't
them
quite remember.
because he is looking really, really good, and he can play for us at left back and also center back. And I think he's going to have a decent future for us.
And he's more technically gifted than Kukurea. Kukurea has more experience.
Very calm. Cucurella always gives you the vibe of maybe very hectic, very chaotic, and instability. In some way, Hato is
Chaotic
very
but
much
effective.
composed.
Effective application.
Yeah, Hato gives you much more composed and calm vibes.
I agree. So the 2 6s for you. Let's hear you.
Mm, Obviously, it's going to be Caicedo, and this is also the pairing is again going to be a bit confusing whether it's Lavia or it's Santos. I think he might go with Lavia. For me, it will be a pairing of Caicedo and Lavia.
You think it's going to be Caicedo and Lavia? I
Yeah,
would throw in a Sugo there. A Sugo, for me, I think you could say he's a bully in the midfield.
yeah. I can understand why the fans want Isugu, and maybe even I want him because he's going to be that disruptor. He's going to cause a lot of chaos in that Leeds midfield as well, challenge them very well. But practically, it's not going to happen in such a big magnitude of game. It's going to be one of Santos or Lavia.
Maya thinks it's going to be Caicedo and Santos. And Yakon is saying, I can never credit these owners. This is the ultimate betrayal to the fan base. Dang it. Okay. Um, I'm not, you know what? I'm not even sure how to contribute here because there's still also Andreas Santos. There's still also Enzo Fernandez. He might decide to go with one of you could say Caicedo definitely starts this game.
It
He
might,
might decide to pair him
it
with
might,
Enzo Fernandez.
it might also depend on what McFarlane, who McFarlane played in the two games against City and Fulham. I think it was Santos, maybe. So that can also contribute because he trusted Santos as well. A bit the fact that Lavia was injured that time. So it's a 50-50. It could be Lavia, it could be Santos.
Dante, let's hear you. I think we're just gonna have fun here because we're
You
not too
know, I
sure
think
who's going to
it'll
win.
be that Lavia and Finger. Enzo will play in the 10. He'll move back up into the 10 more.
It makes sense now because we don't have this guy isn't playing. What's his name? Estava isn't available. Gittins isn't available. So there's a space. There's space on the flanks for Palmer.
Yeah, you can play him at the right wing, Palmer, Enzo in the 10.
So you
And
agree with this? You don't think it'd be
no,
Santos there?
no, it'll be Lavia. Lavia and Caicedo, yeah.
But I'd rather Santos. Lavia for me, he still does come across as a bit rusty.
Well, he needs games. Just play him. You got to play him now. He's fit. You play him now. So he needs a run of games now. So play him. If he's there for the future, if they, for next season, you got to give him the run of games now and play him. See how he does with Caicedo.
All right, let's say you this three here, Dante.
Yeah, I put Palmer right, Enzo 10, and I'm gonna go for Garnacho on the left.
Palmer right, Enzo 10, Enzo Toxic Fernandez.
It'll either
Where
be
does he
Pedro
need to go?
Neto or Garnacho, but
I think it's
Neto
gonna be
hasn't really
Neto.
looked very good, so neither has Garnacho. But he's still in a game like this. I think in a wider Wembley, it is a wider stadium, a bit longer. There'll be space to exploit. They'll both be good, but I'd prefer to give Garnacho a start in this one. He's very good in the cup games usually, so
I have glasses on. I haven't seen Enzo Fernandez here. Is
especially
he
against
listed
Leeds, how
as?
they play. I would put
Okay, he's
Garnacho
listed
there.
as a forward. Go ahead.
Give him the start, Garnacho for me. Yeah,
You think Ganacho starts? I think
yeah. It's either between him and Neto, but
McFarlane might go for experience and his thing, irrespective of how badly Neto plays, if you can charge him to you can say to be defensively cautious, he gets the job done even on the day where he plays badly.
I just don't like him on the left-hand side. That's why one of the main reasons he's been bad under Rosinha, he's played on the left-hand side, and that is not really his position. He's not really comfortable coming back in from the left-hand side as much as he is on the right. So for me, that's been a big reason why he hasn't played well under Rosinha. Putting him that left, and then at times he played the left wing back or right wing back when he was on the right. Not really his preferred right sort of wing as well. So for me, I've seen even though Garnacho hasn't done well, he's gotten into much better positions and done much better on that left hand side than Neto has, in my opinion.
So you think it's going to be Ganacho on the left?
Just my opinion, yeah. Just because of the running, how open it'll be, the bigger field, I think that'll suit him. And if we play a bit more possession controlled and like that, and from the back a bit more, as in if we sit back a bit more, not a high line, then yeah, I think that will suit him as well. There'll be space for him to run in behind. Uh, Hopefully, João Pedro can play because that'll be very key as well.
All right, Jay. Let's hear you. The three here. What do you make of Dante speaking? Picks. All right. It looks like Jay has gone to the market. Number 9, if he comes back, he can let us know. João Pedro, if he's fully fit, I think he starts. Which I think it does look like he's fully fit, actually.
It looks like it, so he should be ready to go. Yeah.
All right, let's catch up with what we have in the chat. If Jay comes back on time to let us know whether he agrees with the three behind the striker and the rest, that's fine. If not, we will call it a day. I think it's been an excellent discussion. We'll see you guys. I don't know. In the evening, definitely. Then tomorrow, whether we'll do pre-game or still do blue morning, we'll find out. Let's see. Where did we stop? I'd start
I'm back.
Garnacho left wing,
Oh, your
Palmer right
camera's
wing, and
acting up
Enzo.
again.
Sorry.
Your camera's acting up quite a
Yeah,
bit again.
it's acting up. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to
Can you
sort
hear
it
me,
out.
guys? Hello.
Yeah. Do you see Dante's pick for the three behind and the striker? I think we know João Pedro, if he's fully fit, he starts over the lap.
Can you hear me, coach?
Crystal clear. We can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, it's the internet again. Yeah, I would 100% agree with Dante. I do not think there is much scope for change. The left wing is again the unfortunate situation where we have to, choose the one who is going to be less bad, and I would go with Pedro Neto. I wouldn't really want Garnacho to start this game, and I think McFarlane might also go with Pedro Neto. Neto can hold the width as well, and he can sometimes help defensively more than what Garnacho can offer us. And I don't know how much you want to read into the news about the crybaby thing and Garnacho being the one at the center, and maybe that can also play a role into him not starting and Neto to play. But yeah, it's a 50-50 again. Could be Garnacho, could be Neto. I would personally go for Neto. Other than that, I think it's the same team. But there is a another reality where Palmer does not start because of the fitness, and maybe we can see both Garnacho and Neto. So that could also happen. Hopefully not, but yeah, there's a possibility for that too.
Yeah, I would start Neto over Ganacho for defensive
I,
reasons.
I would prefer definitely Neto on the right. If that was the case, I would probably start him on the right over Palmer if that was the case. Yeah, definitely.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, let's see what else we have. And Rich Money Makers, Rich Money Maker says Chelsea sporting directors are currently discussing what style of play they want to go for and stick to as part of their self-reflection. Sources say Chelsea wants a stability builder, a coach who, okay, continued somewhere. He might put Neto left wing, Dante. He might do that. Let's see what else we have here. No to Ganacho. I think the reason Neto starts over him because he's able to track back effectively more than Ganacho does. Put Chelsea under any short-term threat of another change. Let's see what else we have here. Mod Manor there saying stuff. Who else? Anything serious there? Anything. All right. Tesfaye Chelsea, thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. Anything else here? That's it. I don't know if anything new emerged as the show progressed. And once again, you can go to chelseaperspective.com. You build your own lineup. It will record it. Someone else come suggest build their own lineup for the next game after this one. Even I think it's still open for the game tomorrow. Then we'll get the average picks. The system will go by the average pick for each position and then present the fans' predicted lineup. Yeah, let me see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. Vince's timeline here has it refreshed. I'm gonna refresh this again and see. It's still refreshing. Sorry. So I want to see if anything new emerged before we call it a day. And Dante, while we wait, anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, that's all good, Coach. You're excused. You can go now.
Matt Meyer says we're going to the final. I think we are. For reasons I explained, I'm confident we're gonna beat them. My understanding of this project needs a big tweak. That means getting an experienced goalkeeper. I think Pendas comes in. I think Sanchez stays. Uh, the reason you could argue that Sanchez's place is at stake if had has Rosinho remained, then you could argue once Pendas comes around, that's it for Sanchez. Sorry, this has gone blank. Let's wait for it to refresh and see if anything new emerged as the show progressed. But chances are new stuff emerged. But yeah, my computer is Slondowski. My internet Slondowski today.
It's all right. That picture's a good picture of the fan base at the moment, so that's good.
I would never it. There are times that are suitable for it. Unfortunately, guys, my camera is blinking unnecessarily. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch it to the other one. I'm waiting. It's taking this like 1,000 years to refresh.
Let it go, Coach. Turn it off.
Dante, why is Maya apologizing to you?
Maya, where? I don't see anything.
You
Where?
see what he says in the chat.
Oh, before you close down, I apologize for having an injury on Enzo Fernandez. Now I see. Oh,
What did he
because I
do?
don't think he didn't rate him at all. But now because he's spoken up against the owners, he rates him. Just like most of the fans, now they love Enzo Fernandez because he spoke up against, that he wanted to leave.
Maya also never liked Enzo Maresca.
Exactly. But then he loves
Anyway,
him.
this is a refuse to refresh. Whatever. If anything emerged and we missed it, I think we will have time to discuss it during the evening show. And I want to say thank you to all of you for finding time to be part of the conversation. I want to thank the captain of the community in Constantine Dunn. Thank you so much for joining. Also, Jay, my bro, I appreciate you. Maya, the rapper, thank you for joining. Rich Money Mikos, MB05, Mabas05, aka MB05, Brianni Ahayu, who was also here, and the coolest chose the big ooh. All of you in the chat, if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. And thank you for joining to find how you pronounce that, Tesla. If I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Once again, in a hurry to leave, right, Dante?
Very quick.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world that all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge to our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's just to there, and there was a strife. God, you, my heart, keep the blue flame flies like we soar. Through every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world that all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge to our voices to the light. We love for the team stand strong by our side.
Every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for real does, and then with a love this storm, every phone's just to there, and there was a strife. God, you, my heart, keep the blue flame flies like we soar. Through every challenge we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hopes on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky. Unity we trust, our
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride. We're gonna show the world all hearts open wide. From Stamford Bridge, share our voices to life. We love for the team, stand strong by our side.
Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the skies. And if a cowboy said, for Europe does, and there with a love this storm. Every foe's estimate, and there was a strife. God, you, my heart. Keep the blue flame inside like a soar. Through every challenge, we will never ignore. In unity we trust, our hope's on the rise. Chelsea spirit shines, bright lights up the sky.
Chelsea fans, we won't stop believing. New knock with every chant and roar, we rise for the fight. The blue flag in the air, let it fly with pride.